Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of VTVN, and joining me with this episode is me too and my friend Lizzo. So Lizzo, do you know what we are holding here?
I don't, but it's beautifully made and it kind of has the shape of a horse with the head, right?
So you have experienced many traditional clothing, traditional crafts, and today I will be introducing with you a very well-known and famous ceremony of the Nùng people.
A ceremony?
Horse dancing here.
Horse dancing?
Yes.
So they use these to dance with?
Yes.
Huh.
And for the horse dancing is actually have many meanings and purpose.
Oh yeah?
So firstly, you see it's a white horse.
Yeah.
It's actually represent for the female one,
Uh-huh.
and the red one is for the male. Yes. Surprise,
Surprise!
right? Yes.
I don't know why I'm in the boy one, but that's totally okay.
Yep.
This is
and
beautiful. Yeah.
Do you like it?
I do like it.
So the first purpose of the horse dancing is actually for the Tet holiday and for the Lunar New Year. And this one represents for the freshness of the crops.
Wow.
And the second purpose is actually for the wedding. And it represents for the love of the couples.
Oh, that's very sweet.
How sweet is that? And for the final purpose is actually there is a ceremony called the Maho. You know,
Right.
it's actually kind of funerals, and they usually celebrate usually use this ceremony to commemorate the dead people. You see, after a year.
Okay, great.
How interesting is that,
so
right?
Amazing. I love that you always look after one another,
Yes.
even after you passed away. Beautiful culture.
So, do you want to explain about today's lesson too?
Right. Well, I think that if we're going to be studying about horses and
Yes.
dancing,
Yes, you're right.
then we can do adverbs of frequency. So we can talk about how often we do something. Okay? How does
And-
that sound? And some vocabulary related
We
to
can-
this amazing,
Yes.
amazing culture.
We cannot forget about that, right?
Not at all.
So let's go, and today we are not going to do any introduction clip here, but actually we will introduce audience to the dancing horse.
Why?
All the artists and the shamans, they are coming now and they will perform the horse dancing for us and for the audience.
Wow, it's my first time to see a shaman ceremony, so I'm very, very fortunate and honored
Yes.
to be here.
I'm actually a Vietnamese person, but this is my first time here too. I just had the opportunity to watch this. How
Right.
exciting, right?
It's amazing.
Let's go and watch the performance.
The Nung's performing culture is characterized by mountains and forests, often performed at weddings, ceremonies, and Tết. At the foot of the Gia Long Peak, the famous horse dancing is often performed. According to the concept of the Nùng people, this dance in the past would only perform in filial piety. Paper horses represent gifts from girls who get married to their parents when they die, so their parents on the other side of the world can use pack horse for riding. It also considered as thanksgiving in return, as well as to maintain the ethics of always be grateful. This rhythm dance with many vibrant rhythms are performed by the art and children on the stage to attract viewers. Preserving and promoting the national cultural values, the Nùng art people each day impart skills to their students in the system of traditional culture.
So now it's actually the vocabulary lesson, and I will explain to you the process of making a horse effigy. A vocabulary, right?
Right.
Yes.
Effigy represents the
Yes.
horse.
Yep.
That's another word for you.
And for the process, the first one is actually they will knit the horse effigy by bamboo, and this is actually bamboo. You see?
I can see how it's been knitted and woven
Yes.
together.
Yeah. And after the knitting, they will cover it in a 7-color cloth. And actually for the female one, they usually use the white or the yellow colors.
So
Which-
this is a girl one.
Yes, this is
Clearly.
the girl one. And actually for the male one, they also use the red colors, and the red is the only one color they use for the male one.
Oh, so interesting, right?
Yes. And normally, to making a horse effigy, it always takes them like 2 days to make it. Which the craftsmen, they would knit the horse effigy for 1 day, and then the other craftsmen, they would decorate it. And it also takes them a day for decorating.
Beautiful.
Yes. And you want to add more vocabulary for that?
Well, I'm just so interested in what you had told me in your research, that this ritual has been passed down over different generations.
Yes, you're
Other
right.
generations have inherited this ritual. And you also mentioned earlier about shamans. That shamans will come and perform the ritual.
Yes.
Okay. So these are all words that I think are very important and relevant to this. And another part, it's a dance, right?
Dance.
So they do
Horse dancing,
movements. Movements, right?
Yes.
So how many movements do you think they do?
So at first I researched, is actually 12 movements.
12 movements for a dance.
And the whole dancing here, movement, all the 12 movements, it's actually represent the endurance of the manhood.
Right. I just love that word that you mentioned earlier for the maho.
Yes.
You commemorate someone's death.
And it's actually our new word, right?
Another one, yeah.
To commemorate is actually a verb. And commemoration is a noun, isn't it?
That's it. But let's talk about some adverbs of frequency.
Yes.
Adverbs of frequency describe how often something happens, right? For example,
For example,
you were telling me about the color, right?
Right. I think they sometimes use the color of yellow to make a horse effigy, right?
Right.
Yes.
Sometimes. That describes how often. Not always, not only, but sometimes.
Yep.
Sometimes they use the white for the women, but for the men,
They always use the red.
yes, exactly. That's
And
great.
actually, they often use the white color for the horse effigy for the female one, right?
Yes, exactly.
Another example here.
Perfect. Let's talk about using adverbs of frequency related to the calendar and how often these festivals happen.
Sure.
So for example, Tet. How many times a year does Tet happen?
So Tet holiday only happens once a year.
Right, once.
Yes.
What about the Maho?
Maho. Similar to Tet, the Maho ceremony is also happens once a year.
But that's for that one person, right? Okay.
Yep.
And how about a wedding?
A wedding?
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Sometimes, and it depends on how many people get married, right?
They can happen frequently, right?
Oh, I love that. It could happen frequently.
Yes.
Or it could happen rarely.
Yep.
So maybe very, very rarely people get married here.
I think especially in this year is the COVID-19, right? So it may happen rarely for the wedding.
Right, that's true. Okay, so we've got rarely, frequently, sometimes, always,
Often. Yes.
and we've got the word once. Now, if it's more than once, it could be maybe
Twice a year.
or 3 times, 4 times.
5 times, 7 times, 6 times.
Right. You just got to remember for the one time a year, we use the word once,
Once.
and for
2 times is twice.
absolutely.
Yes.
Great. So remember that you can use those words to describe events that happen to you every day or in the week, how often a month, how often a year, how often over your life.
Yes.
All right?
I think it's such a useful grammar for the beginner to learn, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And upcoming next is actually our challenge, remember?
Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to?
I don't know yet, but I always accept the challenge, Liesl.
I love that about you. Thank you, Tu.
Let's go to the next one. Welcome back to our challenge, right, Liesl?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've got a challenge that in 30 seconds, you and I have to say as many adverbs as we possibly can.
Sure.
Adverbs of frequency, right?
Right. So challenge accepted now.
Great.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna get a timer.
Hang on.
I go. Okay, I got a timer. So I'm
sure.
gonna time us in 30 seconds to see that
Who's gonna win
Who's gonna win?
to list out the adverb of frequency?
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, that.
30
part.
seconds.
And okay. Whew, you ready?
I'm ready now, as
And-
always.
She was born ready. I
Yes.
love it. Here we go. Always.
Often.
Sometimes.
Usually.
Once a week.
Eventually.
Never.
Frequently. You're gonna lose soon,
No,
Liesel.
God, wait, you're distracting me. Never done that. Now and then.
Regularly.
Rarely.
Constantly. Oh, it's already off?
Time's already up.
I think you take longer to think of a word, right?
I did.
I'm the one who win here. And audience, you know what? The reason why I'm so good at this because I learn all the homework and revise the adverb of frequency every day. So that's why I can remember all the words.
Yeah, she
So
does.
you have to do that too, audience.
Yes, you
Right?
do. You gotta keep working at it. Now,
Yes.
I really want you guys to work hard, but I also really want to say thank you so much
Yes.
to the local authorities and the local community here at Nam Hoa
Yes.
who has welcomed us into their community. And you know, normally these amazing festivals
Yes.
and ceremonies are put on for special occasions.
Yep.
But just for us here today so that we could see it, we could learn about it, and we could share it with you and help you learn it in English,
Yes.
they put it on for us. So thank you so much, Nam Hoa.
It's actually our pleasure to see such a very interesting ceremony like this, right?
So, like an honor, to be
Yes,
honest.
me
an
too.
honor.
The one opportunity in my life, right?
Right, this
Yes.
is a once-in-a-lifetime thing to see people do something that is so deep and unique in their culture. So thank you so much to them for sharing that with us, and thank you
Thank you.
for being with me here and